Cord. Well, you want to start over? Whoops, that was a big fuck up. Yeah, that's rough. This is how I record videos. Alright. Welcome, Nut Army. I am Nutrock MMA. Jesus. I am the internet manlet who gets mad at shit. And we're going to go over the main card. I already kind of did this. I have to record the YouTube video, and I accidentally I did not press record, so that sucks. And I have a chat that has to deal with it now. But we're gonna matchmake and go over the main card. Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. A little spoiler, I did not do very well on my main card picks, albeit I went 2-3. I would have went 3-2 if I picked Lerone Murphy like I said I thought he was going to win. But I was just being petty and picked Aaron Pico. But Tim Elliott upsets Kai Asakura. 2 years off, and he still comes in with a round 2 sub. I think that says a lot about both fighters. I think that says a lot about where Kai Asakura stands as a martial artist, and I think that also just tells us a lot that Tim Elliott ain't really done yet. Not the prettiest record, obviously. He's 22-13-1, but he's still skilled, and I really thought his awkward style wasn't going to get him through this fight, and I was wrong. But matchmaking, I think, unfortunately, I can't give Tim Elliott a big matchup at this stage in his career. He is still kind of a gatekeeper. You do Tim Elliott versus the winner of Loner Kavanaugh versus Charles Johnson. I think Charles Johnson deserves to be a ranked fighter anyways. He only lost his ranking off of them wanting to push Asakura. So you give one of those guys an opportunity. Loner Kavanaugh is a great prospect. I think he could breathe some life into his division, which honestly, flyweights, keep your eye on flyweight. It's shaping up to be really solid. But yeah, and then Kai Asakura, I said this earlier. I mean, the dude's 0-2 in the UFC. He's got to win his next one, or else they're probably going to send him back to Ryzen or throw him to karate combat. Give him Ode Osborne, honestly. Make him take his ranking and make him fight down. Ode won't try to take him down, so it's a more winnable matchup. It's crazy to me. This guy went from an immediate title shot to losing to Tim Elliott in the matter of a year. And he's not been active either. I don't see much... Kai's an exciting fighter, but I don't see much appeal for him anymore. I mean, the dude's lost to Manel Cap, Tim Elliott, and Pantoja all in the UFC so far, and I don't think he can go far. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Paige. I got this one right. I mostly predicted it correctly, but I did not see the third round going the way it did. I thought it was going to be a clean 30-27, but it was a clean 29-28. Michael Paige is weird to matchmake because he always talks about wanting to have fun matchups, but he's also in the position right now. He's talking about getting fun matchups, but he's also in the position to 1-2 fights away from title contention. So I'm not really sure what to do with him, but I think Robert Whittaker would be a good fight for him. They're right next to each other in the rankings. I think it'd be a cool kind of karate style fights. Those usually end up either absolute disasters or absolute fireworks, and I think it would be the latter. Latter. Yeah, latter. But yeah, Michael Paige looked good. He looks more powerful. He still looks fast as ever at middleweight. So I'm excited to see where he can go at this last stretch of his career. Jared Cannonier, I hate to say it because I'd love to kill a gorilla, but he just has to keep fighting down. He's a gatekeeper at this point, so I think we give him Abuz Magomedov, or the winner of Abuz Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer, which I believe Joe Pyfer may take that one. And I think Jared versus Joe Pyfer is actually a very winnable matchup for Jared. Yeah, because I feel like Joe kind of fights like a more reserved version of Gregory Rodriguez, and I actually picked Jared to beat Gregory Rodriguez. I thought people were a little crazy for overlooking him. So yeah, I think Jared Cannonier versus the winner of Abuz Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer, which I'd probably be taking Joe Pyfer on that one. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prozes. For a second, I didn't even realize that he beat the buzzer. Great fight by both guys for as long as it lasted. Jeff Neal looks good for the 5 minutes, but then he got hit with... I didn't expect this spinning back elbow from... or spinning elbow, rather, from Carlos. But nonetheless, it was a pleasant surprise. The dude's got $250,000 in bonus checks just off bonuses in the UFC, which is impressive. Yeah, I think Jeff, unfortunately, at the stage that Jeff's in his career, he kind of only can beat guys his age. I think if they do book Gilbert Burns versus Daniel Rodriguez, I think you give them the winner of that, or give Jeff the winner of that. Unless it's Gilbert. I believe Gilbert may retire after that fight, win or lose. But maybe give him Daniel Rodriguez after the Gilbert Burns fight, if they do book that, which I have a feeling they will. Carlos Prozes, I think you should give him Colby Covington, get him up the rankings, but not too far up. I think he smokes Colby Covington, and I think they're more than okay with getting rid of Colby Covington in the rankings. Colby doesn't serve the UFC much purpose anymore. So yeah, I think they would be totally okay with kind of sacrificing Colby here. Great fight. Carlos deserved the bonus. Okay. So Lerone Murphy needs to die, and Aaron Pico needs to go back to Bellator. We're moving on. It's a joke. This fight was AI. This fight was AI, in fact. Lerone Murphy. So you guys, I'll be semi-serious now. You guys know I don't like Lerone Murphy. I never will, no matter what. I was petty after Mario Batista's good performance. And yes, I said it. Mario had a good performance against the human mannequin Patchy Mix. But no, I don't care. I don't care that was a clean. I still hate Lerone Murphy. I am petty as shit. I never will not be petty. I don't believe... I already see people talking about Lerone in the title picture. I believe that's not the right move. I think you should do Lerone versus Movsar Evloev as a title eliminator, and because I do believe Diego Lopez versus John Silva. I think if John Silva wins that, which I'm actually going to take John Silva on that. I think if John Silva wins that, then they're going to throw him in the title picture. Excuse me. So while you do that, I think you book Movsar versus Lerone in December. Volk was talking about December. I think that would work out really perfectly, and then have Volk or John Silva set up by March, April next year. But yeah, and Volk did tweet December versus Lerone. I think that's a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I think he just kind of wants an easy defense. I think Volk would 50-45 Lerone very easily. But yeah, Aaron Pico, you should give him Andre Fili. I don't even think he deserves to be ranked. He looked good for 2 minutes or so, but you can't judge 2 minutes on... Right, you can't judge his career on 2 minutes. Or at least his UFC career. I think you give him Andre Fili, it's a winnable matchup. And kind of throws him around that 25-15 area. Yeah. This fight's like my personal hell. You guys know how I feel about Moreau, and I was bitching about it in the last YouTube video. I do have a live chat right now. Pico looked good until he died. That's, yep. You can't judge it like that. There's a lot of fighters who looked good till they died. Excuse me. So we'll post this clip to my Instagram. This was one of the worst title fights in recent history. In the male, like at least in the males divisions. I think it's up there with like Kamaru versus Woodley and like Khabib versus Ali Quinta. That being said, this fight being so boring wasn't just Khamzat's fault. It was also very much Dricus' fault for not being able to defend takedowns. I'm not the biggest fan of Khamzat, but you have to give credit where credit's due. He did what he had to do to win, and Dricus did the exact opposite of that. And when that combines, that just leads an extremely boring domination of a fight. It's kind of similar to, it's like the Zhang Weili problem, where every fight she has, it's so dominant that it's boring. And that's not entirely Khamzat's fault. I would have liked to see him chase a finish a little more. I think he was kind of doing the Merab where he's kneeing a little bit and giving him little love taps, but Merab actually finished someone recently. But I can't judge what Khamzat's title reign, if he does reign, is going to be like just off this fight, because Kamaru Usman did start off with some rough decisions to start his title reign, and now he's one of the most like fondly looked back on champions. But man, this was not an enjoyable fight to watch. Really, just I have people calling me a casual for saying I didn't enjoy watching this fight. I think people misunderstand me saying I don't enjoy something with the fighter did bad. That's not true. When I say that I didn't enjoy something, that means I did not enjoy how the fight played out. That's not me criticizing the skill of the fighter. I say this a lot. Khabib's on probably my top 10 least favorite fighters of all time, but I always give him credit as a fighter because he's a very good fighter with a very boring style. Khamzat was similar to that today, but he did what he had to do to win, and I can't fault him for that. I can fault Dricus for he was too accepting, and he did not chase to escape any takedowns. He didn't give up, because he did burst a bit in the fifth, but it was too late. So yeah, not the most exciting fight, but good for Khamzat. I will remain hopeful that he does want to stay active. He did talk about wanting to fight 2 months after this. I don't see that happening. And I did have my buddy Giacomo saying Khamzat's an EPO. I'm not sure about that. I think that's a little silly. I think he just made the necessary preparations to win this fight, and Dricus did not do enough. So yeah, give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me if you did do a card pick, like your picks on a card. Tell me how you did. I went 6-5 today, which is my second worst of the year. I did not expect Joseph Morales to win. I can actually pull it up real quick, see what I got wrong. Wrong one. I'm gonna have to be a keyboard warrior for the next month or so, probably. Okay. So what fights did I get right? So obviously didn't get... Technically, I kind of got Murphy right, because you guys know I just picked Pico out of pettiness. I picked Carlos right. I actually said Carlos late round 1 TKO, early round 2 TKO. And he was as late as round 1 as he possibly could be. Paige, I got right. I expected a 30-27, not a 29-28. I said clean 30-27, but I still got the pick right. Kaya Sakura, I believe I picked him by round 1 TKO or KO. Obviously, it did not happen. I probably won't be picking Kai from here on out unless he fights a bum. Green versus Fajera got canceled. I did pick McCall. I think by round 1 KO. I said ground pound TKO, I think. Which it was kind of like that, but not really. I did pick Lupi Godinez, which I'm happy I did. I actually almost wanted to pick Andrade, but I did not. I picked Chase Hooper by decision. Did not happen, obviously. Rip the Gooner Army. Chase got knocked out with about 4 seconds left. Pretty unfortunate, because he is one of my more hyped up prospects, but it happens, man. And I just hope he can learn from it. He can learn to evolve his striking. I don't think it's too late for him, obviously. He's shown that after he takes losses, he can improve. Barboza versus Close. I picked that one perfectly. I said 29-28 Close. Battle Ruzabloyev got canceled. I picked Katrine Silva. I kind of thought Barboza won, but I can also see the argument for Silva, which I don't care. I got the pick right. This fight is canceled. It'll show up later, I think in October, and I picked Idris by round 2 TKO, which that was the round he got submitted in. So yeah, let me know your picks. Tell me whether I'm a casual or not. But it was a good card. Wasn't my favorite. I think the main event let down, but other than that, it was a pretty decent card. I am doing a card ranking. Hold on. Anyways, have a good night, Nut Army. I will see you guys next week. I'm trying to do videos more consistently. I believe UFC Shanghai is like 2 a.m. my time, so I'm probably not gonna have to yell. But I will be streaming that live on Twitch. Hold on. Let's see. I live in Alaska, so I think it's gonna be a pretty collapsed time. Let's see here. Yeah, prelims start at 11 at night, pretty much midnight, and then I think the main card starts at 2 a.m. So